Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Move Early, Move Often. It is Twisted Tuesday. I am Blake Martin, and on Twisted Tuesdays, we focus on stretching and kind of twisting. And today, a lot of times, stretching seems to focus on the front and back aspects of our body and not so much the side to side aspects of our body. So, with that, today we're just going to get into the space. We're going to warm up. We're going to do a bunch of stretches. We're going to do 30 seconds per side, basically. And your objective is to, in terms of stretching, to kind of take things to, if you imagine 10 being like more discomfort than you can bear, and 0 being like kind of no feeling at all, you're kind of trying for a 5 or a 6. You want it to be in that delicious range where the stretch feels really good. Don't push it because our bodies aren't really warm, and you don't want to push things too hard. All right, so let's just get into the space and warm up a bit. So just standing, legs both shoulder width apart. We're just going to reach up and reach one arm into the air a little higher and the opposite arm just pandiculating. We're not really even getting into a stretch yet. We're just kind of alternating, reaching, and just reaching a little further and further from side to side. Just breathe fully and deeply. Don't hold your breath. There is a kind of stretch that we do where we do kind of hold our breath, like when you're yawning first thing in the morning. A little further, reaching over a little bit further each time. Legs might have come a little wider apart than shoulder width. That's okay. We'll get back to that in a minute. All right, just keep reaching. And then we're going to come down to the hips. And we're going to go from side to side, almost like you're doing really bad skiing. So bad skiing, just hips just going from side to side. And pushing your hip into the opposite direction. Bend your knees slightly. And just a little bit more. And then circles, hip circles, going around. Opposite direction. And because we're going to get the shoulders involved, let's just do some gentle shoulder circles. First forward. We're just kind of trying to get, there's this glop in your joints called synovial fluid. We're just trying to get it moving around to coat the ends of the bones, the cartilage, so that everything is good. And chicken wings forward. Chicken wings backwards. All right. All right. So we're going to start again. We're going to be about shoulder width apart on our feet. And our initial stretch, if you just watch for a second, it's pretty much what we were doing before, only we're just going to we're going to grasp our hands together, and we're going to just pull from one side and then to the other, okay? We're going to hold that stretch for 30 seconds. Again, just trying to keep your heel anchored on the floor as you pull into the opposite direction. Just hands above your head. And lean over to the side. So this is kind of a whole body stretch. Now I'm going to turn sideways so you can see as you're doing it. And I'm watching that my hands don't come too far forward. Keep them aligned in the coronal plane. That's the plane going over the top of your head. And really keep your heel anchored into the floor. Just breathing fully and deeply, like you're trying to pull your wrist off. Let's set up for the opposite side. 30 seconds on the opposite side. Coming across. So I'm holding on to my left wrist and I'm leaning to my right. So whatever side you're leaning to. And again, being careful that my spine isn't rolling forward. Keeping things open And this is a less targeted stretch. It's kind of the whole body from top to bottom, keeping my heel anchored on the floor. And now we're going to move in a little bit. And we're going to target this. We're going to take our arm, we're going to draw it behind our head, and we're going to lean over with our elbow. So now we're targeting more the upper part of our back and into our teres minor, teres major, the muscles under our armpits. We're leaning to the side and really try to draw the elbow towards the center of your head. And lean, breathing fully and deeply again, about a level 5 on the stretch deliciousness scale. Let's set up for the opposite side. And leaning, drawing the elbow over towards the center of the head, keeping the heel anchored into the mat. As you breathe, feeling the length. Breathe fully and deeply. If you can't breathe fully, then you might be too deep into the stretch. Back out just a little bit. All right, coming back up. We're going to do the head. So hand over the head and just draw it gently to the side. Allow the shoulder on the opposite arm to drop down. And your ear is going directly to your shoulder. Again, this isn't a deep stretch. We're still just going gently, gentle traction. If your ear touches your shoulder, that's either A, surprising, or B, alarming. You have to choose between those two. And back to center. Coming down, opposite head. But the same head, opposite direction. If you've got an opposite head, that's surprising in its own way. And just ear to shoulder. Allow the opposite shoulder to drop. And if you're holding it up, just be aware of that. I'm wiggling mine a little bit just so I can draw attention to it and let it be more relaxed. And release. And now we're going to cross our legs one over the other. And with the front leg crossed in front, I'm going to lean towards that front leg in the same direction as the leg that's in front. And now this is pulling it down into my hip a little bit more. And you'll probably, for me, I feel it all it comes up into close to my ribs. There's a whole bunch of fascia down there that's getting just a nice little stretch. And undo that stretch. Opposite side. Other leg in front. And I'm leaning towards the foot that's in front. My hips are pressing in the opposite direction. Might be a bit of a balance challenge for you as well, to really get your weight centered between the 2 feet. All right. And release the stretch. I'm going to come down. So I'm in a 90-90-90. And what I'm going to do is I'm pushing towards this hip. Okay, so pushing into the hip. So now we're targeting the hip itself more. And I'm just leaning away. Match knees together. Other leg forward. And press into that hip, leaning away from it. And get your stretch on. Try to keep your angle nice and clean. Your shoulders should be square. Don't flop your shoulder over. Just breathing. And this next stretch, great for the tensor fasciae lata, the IT band. So we're going to go on our side, cross one leg over, and it's kind of like a supermodel posture. You've got your front leg over, and rock your hips just slightly forward. Flex your bottom foot. We're going to hold this. We're going to actually do this. We're going to double up on this. So it takes a while to set it up. And what I want you to do is just kind of rock back and forth as we go. So your knee and hip on the top leg kind of rock back and forth. I'm just going to do that during the second 30 seconds of the stretch. And if you find that too intense, you can move your hand further away from you. And if you don't find it intense enough, bring your hand a little bit closer. And I really get that. I get that a lot. I get it in my abductors as well, my gluteus medius and gluteus minimus, and my tensor fasciae lata. They're all feeling that really nicely. Bottom foot is flexed to protect the bottom knee. Okay, let's flop around to the other side. Set up. Get that bottom leg nice and long. Flex the foot. Step over top with the top leg. And I like to call this the supermodel stretch. You can bite your collar and give a smoldering glance to the camera if that's what you need to do to feel this stretch. Just setting up, again, you can move your hand closer for more intensity and further away for less. And for this second 30 seconds, we're just going to shift the knee back and forth so that we're just kind of rolling into and out of this stretch and just kind of getting it on different angles, different fibers of the muscles. And just breathing fully and deeply. All right. Coming in. Setting up for our next stretch. You're going to do the pretzel. So you're going to fold over. So your bottom leg is folded, and your top leg. And we're just going to hug our top leg in. And you'll feel that be nice and tall. Feel with each inhale that you're getting taller and taller and taller. And each exhale, your butt is getting closer to the floor. Mine always hovers just a bit off. Magical levitating butt. And opposite leg. Same thing. Set up. Hold on to that leg, and we're getting those outer muscles, the abductors, and a little bit the outward rotators. And just breathing. Each inhale makes your spine taller and straighter. Each exhale goes a little bit further down. And after this exercise, we're going to stand up again just for a little bit. All right, coming up. And we're just going to go back to our first exercise. Just stretching over, and we can go a little bit further this time. Let your hands slide down your opposite leg. Just breathing, and feel that you've just incrementally grown through here today. Just a little bit further than we were when we started. That's what growth is about. Not these huge shifts. Can't fold in half just yet. You're bending laterally, but that's okay. Opposite side. Breathing. We're just exploring the space that we've uncovered and discovered. Just moving into that space. Being open. Breathing. Breathe fully. Coming up. Stand, just shake out your hands. Stand balanced between your 2 feet. Just kind of wiggle your hips from side to side like we did in the beginning, the skiing, bad skiing. Just kind of feel where you've got a little more room. Move. I feel kind of a brightness or kind of like almost a coolness underneath where I've stretched the fascia. That's good. You stand tall. Just bring your chin down a little bit. Balance is good, centered. Shoulders are down. Be in a good, strong position. Ready to face your day. You've moved early. I hope you remember to move often, and I hope you have a really, really good day. We'll see you back here tomorrow for Wobbly Wednesday. Take care.